All right, guys, for the defense, we have Mr. Stearns. For the plaintiff, we have Mr. Hayworth. We got a court, we got a witness, and we are going at 175 words per minute. Starting with questioning by defense counsel, Mr. Stearns.
Ready, begin. Do you recall a flashlight incident?
Yes, sir.
How do you recall the flashlight? How was it used?
Like if he wanted to feel,
Pardon?
Like if he wanted to, if the flashlight, he hit me in the nose 3 times.
Who hit you in the nose 3 times?
Officer Drossel.
At any time after you were hit with the flashlight, did your nose start to bleed?
Yes, sir.
Did you have on that T-shirt at that time?
Yes, sir.
Is that the way that you were dressed?
Yes, sir.
There is blood on there?
Yes, sir, and I have blood.
There is no question pending. Wait for the questions, Joe. Mr. Stearns?
Did Officer Drossel see that bloody shirt?
Yes, sir.
Did you have it on when you went to the police station?
Yes, sir.
When did you take it off?
Oh, at the hospital.
At the hospital. How many officers did you observe being around you during that evening?
Oh, about 5 or more, because I saw they were coming,
Of this 5 or more, were the officers hitting you?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell this to the police sergeant at the Azusa police station?
Yes, sir.
What did you say?
Objection, hearsay.
I didn't hear.
Just a minute, Mr. Medina. That will be stricken. The objection will be sustained. Let's not make a forum out of this, Mr. Stearns. There is no issue pending as to whether or not there is police brutality. Let's stick to the issues in the petition.
No, I hadn't thought of that, Your Honor. Police brutality. Now, were you taken to the hospital?
Yes, sir.
And to which hospital?
General Hospital. I was admitted one night.
General Hospital. Who took you there?
Parents.
Pardon?
Parents.
Your parents, were they at the police station?
Yes, sir.
And the officers released you to your parents to go to the General Hospital?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell the officers or at least a booking sergeant there that you were going to the General Hospital?
It's immaterial, Mr. Stearns, whether he told them or not. What is the materiality of that with respect to the allegations of the petition?
How long were you in the General Hospital?
Objection, immaterial.
Immaterial. Objection is sustained.
Did you go to the General Hospital?
Objection, asked and answered.
Immaterial. Asked and answered. Sustained, Mr. Stearns.
When did you come out of the hospital?
Objection, immaterial.
Sustained. The court does not doubt that the minor was injured, Mr. Stearns, as a result of whatever he did and as a result of whatever someone else did. The question is whether or not the allegations in the petition have been met by the evidence. I don't question the minor's injury or hurt.
I think it would go to the seriousness of the injuries.
What would go to the seriousness of the injuries?
The fact that he went to the hospital.
The seriousness of the injuries would go along with the allegation of the petition. In fact, in the court's mind, if the minor did, in fact, resist arrest, then whatever injuries he sustained by reason of his own actions. The police officers are not bound to stand quietly by and let the minor do whatever he wants to once he was under arrest.
I agree.
He was under arrest. If he wanted to continue to resist the officers at that time, whatever injuries resulted were a result of whatever he himself did. And I say again, I don't doubt that the minor was injured. The question is whether it was. There are no allegations in the petition in order to have a situation of self-defense or any other defense with respect to his injuries. So the brutality of his having to go to the hospital just does not show up. Please proceed.
Mr. Medina, do you recall how many times you were put into the police car?
Once.
One time. Did you get out of the car at any time?
Yes, sir. When they were hitting me, I tried getting out,
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
Did you get out one time?
Yes, sir.
And then you were put back into the car?
Yes, sir.
When the car left the scene of the altercation there, were you sitting in an upright position?
Yes, sir.
And there was an officer sitting next to you, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you went to the booking office at the Azusa police station?
Yes, sir.
When did the officer read to you your constitutional rights?
Objection, it assumes a fact, not an evidence.
Sustained. There has not been any question about whether or not the minor was advised of his constitutional rights. There were no statements involved. It assumes a fact not in evidence that he was advised of his constitutional rights, although he might have been. I don't know. You might ask him.
Were you advised of your constitutional rights?
Objection immaterial.
Still overruled, Mr. Hayworth.
Yes, sir, when I left.
When?
When I left the police station.
When you left?
Yes.
Was it the first time?
Yes.
Was it more than once?
Was that the only time?
They took me to the police station and I got released to my parents. That is when they gave me the rights and the fingerprints.
I see.
In other words, when you were there, you were advised of your rights. Is that what you're saying?
Not until I left the police station.
When were you fingerprinted?
When I left.
It was before you left?
You see, I was leaving, given to my parents. That is when they gave me my property, and then I was fingerprinted, and they gave me my rights and everything, which they were supposed to give me when I first got arrested.
Does the court... I'd like to have the shirt in evidence.
It will not be received in evidence. It has no probative or material value whatsoever. It will be marked for identification. Well, we won't even mark it. We don't have to have the thing in evidence. There is no point in that being introduced in evidence, Mr. Stearns. Again, I say there is no question, I don't think, in the court's mind that there was an injury. What probative value does the shirt have?
The direct evidence of bleeding?
The court makes the finding that the minor bled at the time that he had this altercation and stained his shirt.
Were you hit by any other officer other than Officer Bruton?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the name of the officer?
Yes, sir.
What was his name?
Drossel and Arse and a sergeant when I was at the police station.
A sergeant at the police station hit you also?
Yes. Well, he had stripes on his shirt, and he was hitting me too,
Were you at the police station?
No, we was in the police car.
How many officers were in the police car with you?
2.
2?
When they took me.
That is the driver and the one sitting by you.
Yes, sir.
Who was sitting by you?
Officer Bruton.
Officer Bruton.
Bruton.
I see. Were you hit at the police station?
Objection immaterial as to what occurred at the police station.
There has been no evidence of that. It is assuming a fact not in evidence. The objection will be sustained, Mr. Stearns. Let's proceed in this matter.
Well, then who hit you at the scene other than Officer Bruton?
Drossel and Arse, and there was about 2 more officers. I don't know their names, recall their names.
When did they hit you? Was that during the altercation?
In the police car.
In the police car?
Uh-huh.
What did they hit you with?
Flashlights and clubs and fist.
Flashlights and clubs and fists?
Uh-huh.
They hit you on what part of your body?
My fist and the body and the legs.
Did you at any time strike back either one of the officers?
I couldn't. I was handcuffed.
The answer, Your Honor, I don't feel is responsive.
Sustained. Now, did you strike either one of the officers?
No, sir.
Did you object to either one of the officers striking you?
Yes, sir.
What did you say to them?
Told him to leave me alone. Then he goes, no. Can I say it? Well, you are a dirty...
No, you answer the question.
You are a dirty Mexican.
That has been asked and answered 3 times now, Mr. Stearns. May we proceed in this matter?
Were you intoxicated that evening?
No, sir.
Did you cause a disturbance of any kind in the neighborhood?
No, sir.
Did you swear at the officers?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember Mr. Bruton being... No, I beg your pardon. Withdraw that. Strike that. Do you recall Mr. Martinez being there that evening?
Yes, sir.
How many officers altogether did you see arrive on the scene that evening?
That has been asked and answered, Mr. Stearns, twice now.
Not to the witness, Your Honor.
Yes, it has. It has been asked and answered 3 times. Please proceed. He has said 4 or 5 officers is what he has testified to 3 times now.
I am sorry I didn't get it.
In any event, the objection is sustained. The question has been asked and answered. Anything further of this witness, Mr. Stearns?
No, I have nothing further.
Mr. Hayworth?
Mr. Medina, where had you been coming from that evening?
Same house I was at.
And how come you were out on the corner?
I walked out to the sidewalk and came back.
Now, when you walked out to the sidewalk, what was your purpose in doing that?
Oh, I was going to leave Mr. Martinez's house.
And did you change your mind when you got to the sidewalk?
A girl called me back.
Was the reason that you changed your mind because you saw a police automobile arriving on the scene?
No, sir.
Did you see the police car coming before you got to the porch?
No, sir.
You didn't see it until you got to the porch.
No, I was on the porch.
When you were on the porch, how many police cars did you see?
One, sir.
You saw only one?
Uh-huh.
How many officers were in it?
Two.
Did either of these officers come up to you?
Yes, sir.
Was it that officer that started the fight that night?
Yes, sir.
And was that officer Bruton or Drossel?
Bruton.
Now, about 3 nights previous to that, you had some kind of contact with Officer Drossel, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And had there been some hard feelings on that occasion?
No, sir.
You didn't get picked on by Officer Drossel that night?
No.
In April of this year, did you have a contact with Officer Drossel?
No, sir.
Not at the city recreation hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't remember a recreation director asking you some questions at the city recreation hall on April 9?
No.
You remember Officer Drossel and an Officer Glancy coming here?
I remember Officer Glancy there. I see him every once in a while.
Did you have some kind of contact or hard feelings with Officer Glancy that April night?
No.
He didn't pick on you,
No.
and you didn't pick on him?
No.
Going back to February 27th of this year, I believe you mentioned an Officer Arce,
Yes, sir.
A-R-C-E.
Yes, sir.
Is that a Spanish name?
I don't know. It probably is. I just call him by Arse.
Now, on February 21st of this year, did you have some kind of contact with Officer Arce?
Yes, sir.
Is Officer Arce a Mexican?
No, sir.
You don't believe he is a Mexican?
You mean of Latin American descent, Mr. Hayworth?
Well, or Mexican nationality, Your Honor. Now, this contact with Officer Arce, were there some kind of hard feelings between you and Arce?
No, sir.
You didn't call him a bastard?
No, he called me a bastard.
Was this kind of a hard feeling? Didn't you feel bad about this?
No.
You didn't mind his calling you that?
No.
That is the only thing that happened on February 21st. Is that correct? Officer Arce called you a bastard and there were no hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
Going back to January, did you have some kind of a contact with Officer Perkaiser?
No.
Were you in January of this year at the city park on a bench, particularly January 27th of this year?
Yes, sir.
Were you at the city park
Uh-huh.
on the bench?
Yes, sir.
And you had some kind of a contact with Officer Perkaiser?
I don't know his name, but I know the officer.
Your mother came on to the scene too, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
And did you have any kind of hard feelings or harsh words with Officer Perkaiser?
No, sir.
Did you call him any names?
Yes, sir.
And did he call you any names?
No, sir.
Now you are telling the court that on January 27th of this year, the last incident, another officer came up to you and started picking on you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, why do you think he did that?
I don't know, sir.
Did he hit you with his billy club?
No, he just grabbed me.
Did he hit you with his billy club later?
Yes.
Would you want to change that testimony if you knew that the Azusa Police Department does not carry billy clubs?
No.
You still believe that he had a billy club that he was hitting you with that night?
Yes.
You saw it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.